Hi boys and girls. Today Mrs. Smale is going to be reading a story about a character who has two pets. So I thought before we got started with our lesson, I would introduce you to my pets that I have. I have two dogs. One of the dogs' name is Starkey, and this is Starkey here. And this little puppy's name is Milo. So these are the two pets that I have been staying home with and taking care of while we're not in school. And we're gonna read a little story now in our passage about a boy who has two pets. So let me take this right on over to our lesson place, and here we go. Our story is called Mac and Cheese. My dogs are very funny. They love to chase each other. They both love to run and play. When I get home from school, they run to greet me at the door. Mac is big and tan-colored. He has long, soft hair and a long tail. He has dark eyes. Cheese is more orange. She is small with curly hair. Her tail looks like a little orange cotton ball. Cheese has one blue eye and one green eye. Mac is very smart. He can follow directions and do tricks. He can fetch a ball. He can sit, roll over, and shake his paw. Cheese doesn't like to do tricks. If you tell her to do something, she will just look at you. Mac likes to sleep in his dog bed. It is big and soft. Cheese likes to sleep with me. She will climb up on my bed and crawl under the blankets. Both dogs love to be fed treats and petted. They love to eat bones and doggy treats. Both dogs love to be petted on their heads and have their tummies scratched. I love my dogs, just like Mrs. Smale loves her two dogs. So now we're going to go to the directions, and we're going to start with strategy practice. Write down one thing that Mac and Cheese have in common. So the first thing I need to think about here is, what does the word common mean? And if I think about what I learned in school and shared with you, when people have things in common, that means they are the same. So we need to look back into the text to find out what Mac and Cheese do that is the same or have in common. I'm looking for a key word in the text that will help me. And I see here the word both. And this paragraph here talks about what both dogs love to do. It says both dogs love to be fed treats and petted. They love to eat bones and doggy treats. Both dogs love to be petted on their heads and have their tummy scratched. So those are a few of the things that the dogs have in common. So I could say, all right, like we've been practicing, we're going to write in a complete sentence, beginning with a capital letter and using some of the words in the sentence to answer our question. So write one thing that Mac and Cheese have in common. I will say, either you could write both dogs or Mac and Cheese. I'm going to say Mac and Cheese. What cool names for dogs, huh? I like that. Mac and Cheese both love to eat bones. Here. All right, so Mac and Cheese both love to eat bones, and it's a complete sentence, so it ends with a period. Now that was just one of the things that Mac and Cheese both like to do. Maybe you would like to, maybe you already did, or maybe you would like to choose a different answer. So there was a few things you can say. We wrote they both love to eat bones and doggy treats, so I could have added that to end of our sentence if I wanted to. Both dogs love to be petted on their heads and have their tummies scratched. So that could also be another answer. Okay, so you can choose whichever you like. We're going to move down to number 1, and Mrs. Smale needs her red marker. If you remember from yesterday, I lost that red marker, so I am using pink today. Mac and Cheese are both A, cats, B, dogs, or C, birds, D, mice. If we remember, I'm sure you all know the answer to this. Mac and Cheese were both B, dogs. So I'm highlighting the answer, and it says in the very first sentence, my dogs are very funny. So if you didn't remember, you can find that right in the text. We're going to move down to number 2. Number 2 says, underline words or sentences that help you picture Mac and Cheese in your minds. So if I need to picture what they look like, remember, kind of like we talked the word visualize. If I was going to visualize in my mind what these dogs look like, since we don't have an illustration, we just have to think about it or visualize the dogs. So we'll go back into the text, and here we go. I'll start with Mac. In the first paragraph, it says Mac is big and tan colored. He has long, soft hair and a long tail. He has dark eyes. So right now I'm visualizing a tan-colored dog with soft hair and a long tail and dark eyes. And oh, I forgot, he's a big dog. So that's what Mac looks like. Now let's see if we can visualize what Cheese looks like. Now Cheese, it says, is more orange. I've never really seen an orange dog, but it says Cheese is more orange. She is small with curly hair. Her tail looks like a little orange cotton ball. Cheese has one blue eye and one green eye. So this dog looks more orange. She's small with curly hair, and her tail looks like an orange cotton ball. One blue eye and one green eye. All right, let's move down to the next question. Number 3, you can hear Mr. Snails playing with our dogs. Number 3, what is one thing Mac will do that Cheese will not? So back up to the text. What did the author say that Mac does, but Cheese does not do? Let's see. Mac is very smart. He can follow directions and do tricks. He can fetch a ball, he can sit, roll over, and shake his paws. Cheese doesn't like to do tricks. So there we go. The author tells us that Mac is smart and likes to do tricks, follow directions and do tricks, but Cheese doesn't like to do tricks. So one thing Mac will do that Cheese will not is tricks. So again, complete sentence starting with an uppercase. One thing Mac does and Cheese will not is do tricks. And remember, if you didn't know how to spell a word, well, you can always go back into the text to spell it correctly. So in a complete sentence, using words from the question, our answer is one thing Max does and Cheese will not is to do tricks. Oh, looks like Mrs. Smale missed out a word there, is to do. So we could do our little arrow, D-O, is to do tricks. And now for our last question, number 4. Number 4 says, the author wrote this passage too. So why did the author write this? Was it A, to tell us an interesting story? Is it B, to teach you something? C, to make you think in a certain way? Or D, to scare you? So this passage was a story about pets and about a character's pets. So I would say this story was to tell us an interesting story about pets. All right, boys and girls. Mrs. Smale forgot number 2. Wow. Well, let's go back to number 2 now. Oh, no, we did do that. That was at where we underlined our words. So we didn't need to write anything in this box today because all we needed to do was follow the directions that said underline. All right, so boys and girls, that was my story for today. And next week, someone will be on doing reading for you. And hopefully I will be able to do a scholastic lesson next week. And we'll talk to you again soon. So goodbye today from my pet Milo and Starkey. Have a good day.